Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard has shifted her identity from a wannabe progressive, which I always knew was fake from the very beginning, to now really just leaning into who she really is, a hardcore right winger who claims that there's nothing wrong with our justice system. In fact, to say that America is a racist country would be wrong because the justice system worked out just fine in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse and in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Let's watch.
So the jury in the Arbery case got the verdict right today, just like the jury got the verdict right in the Rittenhouse case. These jurors are our peers. They're our fellow Americans. And these verdicts show in both these cases how these jurors had the intelligence and the honesty to make the right decision based on examining evidence and facts, not based on race or politics. So these examples directly undermine the woke narrative that Americans are stupid and racist. Because if America was a racist country, like some people say that it is, Arbery's killers would not have been found guilty by a nearly all-white jury in Georgia. Now, most Americans, people of all races, truly believe in and are inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King's adage that we are all God's children. And as such, we should judge each other based on the content of our character, not the color of our skin.
That charismatic message from Tulsi Gabbard, who seems to not understand the fact that the Ahmaud Arbery murder almost went undetected, without prosecution, which we'll give you the details of in just a minute. But also keep in mind that only 1/3 of Republican voters, 1/3, meaning less than 50%, think that the Ahmaud Arbery trial played out the way that it should have, that the 3 men who were eventually convicted of murder should have been convicted of murder. Only 1/3 of Republican voters. That's according to an Economist YouGov poll. But I also want to just quickly note that Tulsi Gabbard today is very different from the Tulsi Gabbard who was campaigning to be the next president of the United States. That was when she pretended to care about the inequalities in our justice system. Let's watch.
What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today.
Doesn't feel the same way. Campaign Tulsi, very different from right-wing grifter Tulsi. Now, of course, I wanted to give you the details, Cenk, about what really happened in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, because the 3 men who were convicted of murder almost were never even prosecuted in the first place. But before I get to that, you want to jump in?
Yeah, so there's a couple of points here. Look, if Tulsi just wanted to say, hey, look, thank God, this largely white jury decided to convict these 3 clear murderers. It's a really low bar, but at least we're making some progress, because back in the day in the South, they wouldn't have done that. That would be a fair point. But then you have to give the full context about how long it took to arrest them, et cetera, that Anna's about to give you. And it's not that Tulsi doesn't know the context we're about to tell you. She does know it. Instead, what she's doing is whitewashing. And so she's saying, oh, there's no racism at all. The Rittenhouse thing was terrific. The way he went in there with an AR-15 for self-defense and provoked a fight and then killed them and got off, that was terrific. And now these guys got convicted, so that's it. There's no more racism. That's exactly what Fox News and other right-wing donors to Tulsi Gabbard and all of her enterprises want to hear, and that's why she's putting out that propaganda. Now the context.
Now, the 3 men who were involved in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, the McMichaels, and their neighbor William Bryan, almost like we're not gonna be prosecuted. In fact, not a single person in that case was arrested until 74 days. 74 days after Ahmaud Arbery was gunned down on the street while he was jogging. 74 days. Now, I want to give you more details about what happened, because the county commissioners accused the district attorney, her name's Jackie Johnson, of preventing the arrests from it happening in the first place because Gregory McMichael was her former colleague and friend. And so she stepped in and tried to prevent them from getting arrested, which is why not a single person got arrested for 74 days. The police at the scene went to her saying they were ready to arrest both of them, said Alan Booker, the Glenn County commissioner. These were the police at the scene who had done the investigation. She shut them down to protect her friend, Gregory McMichael. Oh, wow, is that how the justice system is supposed to work, Tulsi? Let me give you more. Commissioner Peter Murphy, who also said he spoke directly to Glenn County police about the incident, said officers at the scene concluded they had probable cause to make arrests and contacted Johnson's office to inform the prosecutor of their decision. They were told not to make the arrest, Murphy said. Now, afterwards, Jackie Johnson, because of this massive conflict of interest, decided to recuse herself in this case. But then all of a sudden you have this new attorney prosecutor working on it, and he had conflicts of interest of his own. In fact, he didn't think that the prosecution needed to happen. George Barnhill Sr., a prosecutor from nearby Waycross, was given the case but told investigators the killing was a justifiable homicide. Now, how the hell do you watch that video of them boxing Ahmaud Arbery in the street, shooting him, killing him, when he hadn't committed a crime, when he hadn't done a damn thing, when he wasn't even an imminent threat to them, and then conclude, no, I mean, that's, we don't need to prosecute anyone. We don't need to make any arrests. Later, George Barnhill ended up recusing himself because he had his own conflicts of interest. Barnhill also recused himself after being pressured by Arbery's mother, who raised concerns that the prosecutor's son used to work with Gregory McMichael in the Brunswick District Attorney's office, according to a letter Barnhill wrote to the Glenn County Police Department. As he removed himself from the investigation, though, Barnhill took the unusual step of telling law enforcement he did not see grounds for the arrests of the McMichaels, arguing their actions were lawful because they were making a citizen's arrest of a person they believed to be involved in a burglary. Now, of course, Arbery did not commit any crime. And Travis McMichael, the individual who actually shot the gun and killed Ahmaud Arbery, testified under oath on the stand that Ahmaud Arbery did not threaten him, did not reach for his weapon, and did not pose a threat to him. So
and of course, Ahmaud Arbery had no weapon.
Right.
So now, Tulsi, is there still racism in this country, especially in regards to the Ahmaud Arbery case? Now let's just review real quick. First of all, 3 white men surrounded him and basically lynched him, shot him, and then Travis McMichael stood over his body, and it's on the video, and says, effing N-word. Gee, I wonder why he did it. I can't quite tell. I don't know. Is that complicated? So there's the racism initially of chasing down this man in the first place. Police come, they don't arrest the 3 people, including the guy with the shotgun. Now, think about it this way. Imagine there are 3 black guys with weapons, and one of them killed a white jogger with a shotgun. You think the cops go, you know what, we'll come back for you tomorrow. Now, I'm not sure what happened here. And you say it was self-defense. That guy doesn't have a weapon and you do, and you obviously killed him. We'll come back, we'll figure it out later. It's inconceivable. They did not arrest him on the spot because they're white and the guy who they killed was black. Super obvious, but give the cops credit. Eventually, they did want to arrest them because they're like, they obviously did it. It's clearly murder, right? Then other white power brokers in the area, including the DA, say, no way, we do not arrest that white man, even though it's obvious murder and we all know it and it's on tape. They all saw the tape and they said, do not arrest them. Gee, I wonder if there's still racism in America. I can't tell, Tulsi. I don't know, did your check clear? How much did you get paid to say there's no racism in America? He finally gets arrested 74 days later, only because the video went viral and it got media attention. They were never going to arrest them. They were never going to even arrest them. And then now afterwards, Fox News / Tulsi Gabbard comes out and goes, you see that? Now because of the conviction with overwhelming evidence, now I declare the country completely non-racist. In this case, you'd have to be nuts to think that. But she's not nuts, she's greedy and she's a grifter, and she never meant a word of what she said about progressive policies.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.